So today's been a really fun day. I was on the Quarter Life Comeback podcast with Brian Tier. You'll see that on Monday. Had a few coaching calls this morning and got a haircut. And so now I get to go hang out with some of the most awesome people on the planet. So the thing that makes those people the most awesome people is the fact that they're Dale Carnegie graduates, and they all have gone through my program. In fact, I was at MetLife because MetLife and SAS, with their WB and WIN organizations, collaborated together to create this really interesting Dale Carnegie program. And so a couple of people that were there are right here. So yesterday we talked an awful lot about communication. And to give you a sneak peek, here's a quick story that I told yesterday in our meeting. That's a picture of my daughter a couple of years ago. My buddy Josh called me, not this Josh, he's a different Josh. I know lots of Joshes. So one of my other buddies, not this Josh, called me and said, hey, I've got tickets to the Wyndham this weekend. Do you want to go? And the Wyndham's a golf championship that happens every year out in the Greensboro High Point. I think it's in Greensboro at Sedgefield Country Club. And that was her standing in front of this beautiful, beautiful sculpture made out of sand. And she was really frustrated because she couldn't play in it. That's not playing sand. And she was like, well, it's sand though. And anyway, they wouldn't let her play in it. So the whole time we were driving there, Josh and I were talking about this one particular golfer that we were looking forward to watching. And there was only one. We only cared about one. Who do you think it was? There's only one golfer if you want to watch him. Who is it?
Tiger.
Yeah, that guy, Tiger, right? He's the only guy. My wife hates him. His wife hated him. I wanted to watch him play poorly. Josh wanted to watch him play well, right? But the whole time we're talking about Tiger. So we go down, we find when he's going to tee off. He's teeing off at 1 o'clock. So it's like 12:15. We get down to a hole where we can see him. It's the green on the second hole. The second he tees off at the first one, we couldn't see him, but you could hear the crowd, right? You could hear him. They cheer when he hits the ball, whether it's a good shot or not. They all cheer, right? So he's coming down, and we're like, okay, Tiger's coming. Really, really excited. This crowd's starting to form. My daughter's playing, Kendall's playing, and all of a sudden, for those of you who are parents or have ever watched a kid at all, you know that you get like the sense when something's like going awry, right? Mm-hmm. And so I got this feeling that like something was going wrong. So I look over at my daughter and she was clearly afraid. Like there was something going on and I had no idea what it was, right? And so as I'm trying to figure it out, and she looked like she was really, really worried. And so Josh, my buddy, looks over at me and he goes, don't go too far, because Tiger's about to make his approach. So, okay, great. So I walk over to my daughter, I lean down, I put her on my knee, and I said, sweetheart, what's wrong? And she goes, Daddy, is there really a tiger in those woods? And I said, no, baby, there's not a tiger. Tiger is the name of the golfer. And the second I said that, back to playing. Right? Okay? But she thought, I said, we're going to watch Tiger Woods. She heard, we're going to go see a tiger in the woods, right? Okay. So I think there's a pretty strong correlation between what happened with my daughter and what can happen with other people, right? We say something, we know what we mean, we know what we want done, we know what we're trying to communicate, but we don't ever stop for long enough to make sure the communication is actually there and they know what we're talking about, right? So we may be talking about going and seeing a great golfer. They may be thinking we're saying that they're going to get eaten alive, right? So when we think about communication, one thing that we have to think about when we're considering these principles is when we're communicating, to make sure that our communication is understood, not just given.